Greetings everyone, my name is Military Ration Enthusiast and today I am back with another US MRE menu for us to check out today. This is menu 20, Italian sausage with peppers and onions in marinara sauce. Department of Defense seal as usual on the front of the pouch, so without any further ado, let's tear it open. Double sealed. So, right away we should have our main course. This is indeed Italian sausage with peppers and onions in marinara sauce. Cardboard sleeve for heating it. Also contains the nutritional information. Nut raisin mix with pan-coated chocolate discs. Osmotic cranberries, dried cranberries basically. These are a notoriously hated ration item, so I'm not sure how this will be. Accessory package we'll check out in a moment. Teriyaki flavor beef stick. Oh yeah, this one is a rarity and it's a good one. I got one of these in the first menu I ever reviewed, menu number 24, and I hear that I got really lucky because these are great as hell. And I can attest to that. We have some cheese spread, a classic of the MRE, and crackers. Last but not least, MRE spoon, beverage base lemonade. Look at that, really nice. Alright, and flameless ration heater, which I'll show you how to use if you don't know in just a moment. Let's also see this accessory packet. Chewing gum. Clear packaging means it's spearmint. Bill's Brew freeze-dried coffee. This seems to be in basically every MRE nowadays. Some sugar, some non-dairy creamer, which is essentially just the same thing as margarine, if you were ever wondering. Sucralose and a moist towelette. Also a packet of toilet paper and some iodized salt. So here's a better view of what we get. I'm going to go set out the silverware and I'll be right back. So here is what we've got. Looks quite rich. To freshen things up this time, I think I'm going to start by preparing the drinks. Let's start with this coffee, shall we? Done this 100 times before and it's really not different in any sort of way from what you do normally. So just add coffee. Here's the brew, give it a nice good stir. Let's also sort out this lemon beverage base we got here. This is basically really concentrated, non-caloric, doesn't necessarily have any vitamins or minerals. It's really just for the morale boost, these little packets. As opposed to the electrolyte ones which come in the big drinking pouches, those are also basically vitamin supplements plus much needed carbohydrates. It's always good to, in a sense, over dilute these. It's almost unbelievable how concentrated they are. So I'm just gonna fill my canteen up to, let's say, 3/4 of the way. Let's give it a try, see if it needs any more water. Might need. Oh yeah, I could definitely use some more. Yeah, it's pretty good now. Usually this thing needs to be diluted very well. So around 500 milliliters of water is what works. Okay, the coffee should have cooled down enough for us to try it. Let's see how it is before we start preparing our main course. It's smooth thanks to the creamer, and if you add that packet of sugar it comes with, it doesn't necessarily make it sweeter, but it makes it more mild, I would say. Not bad at all, not bad. Okay, let's heat up our main. If you haven't seen how this is done before, I'll walk you through it. We get one flameless ration heater. You tear off the top, like so. Open up your bag and reach in there. Pull the heating element loose a little bit so you have an easier time inserting your pouch. like so. Just let it fall like that. Next, it actually specifies that it's best to raise the pouch above the fill lines so that it doesn't confuse you, because actually you want to fill the bag between the fill lines with it empty. So this is what we're going to do. Otherwise the volume of the pouch would contribute to the erroneous measurement of the water in the bag and could cause suboptimal heating. Just fold it in over itself as nicely as you can, and ideally you'd keep it flat on the side with the element so that the whole element gets coated. It should already be getting hot, but these US MREs, FRHs are quite unreliable at times, so it's always best to make sure that it's all evenly coated. Now, once it's getting real hot, it's gonna start steaming, so we're gonna clamp it down with this cardboard sleeve. And just set it on a rock or something for around 10 or so, 15 minutes at most. In the meantime, while this is cooking, let's check out some of the snacks that we get. This is this teriyaki beef stick. It comes double sealed, as you can see. And it's quite finicky to get the secondary packaging open. Unless you do that. I never noticed the notch there. Very nice. Let's give it a try. Essentially compacted, very dense, by the way. A very dense sausage. It is exceptionally savory and flavorful. Likely some kind of MSG or something of the sort in there. Tasty, easy to eat, and high in protein. Nothing could be better. Alright, let's prepare the MRE Classic crackers with cheese spread. Really important to always knead the cheese spread package before opening, so that in case the oil and protein of the cheese got separated, which is unlikely to happen because they use emulsifiers in this stuff, but if that did happen, which it might because it could be heated, who knows, just knead it really well so that it reincorporates and it's one smooth mass again. Straight off from the corner, it's always finicky because it tends to tear directly vertically. These crackers as well. Let me get the plate closer because these tend to crack. As the name implies, they're vacuum sealed and they're nice and tight and they're not very sturdy, so... Okay, none of them are cracked. I think this is the first time, legitimately, that I get both MRE crackers intact out of the bag. That's a rare occasion. Very well then. Right, so let's prepare some of these sandwiches. Hardly a sandwich, but it's gonna have to do. Right, that's how it's done. Hardly something any more American than this. Let's check it out. Crunchy from the cracker, smooth and creamy from the cheese spread, delicious flavor with the cheese spread. I mean, there's nothing to complain about at all. However, the only problem is the age-old issue of how crumbly these crackers are, making this quite a finicky thing to eat. But otherwise, you can manage and it's worth the hassle, so to speak. Once it gets to the right temperature, you can really drink this coffee in a few sips. It's really palatable. FRH should have more or less completed its job. Let's take it out of the sleeve. There's a second tear notch here for after your pouch has been heated, so you can easily pull it out, but it's not very well designed because, as you can see, the tear is prevented by the actual rim of the pouch getting in the way. So usually it's just better to reach in through the same tear you created when first opening it. So wipe down your pouch, and it's good to give it a little bit of a knead before opening it, just in case there were any pockets of food which didn't get heated. Now carefully tear it open. Italian sausages with peppers and onions in marinara sauce. So here is our main. Doesn't look bad at all. Let's see. It seems to have been heated quite evenly. So let's give it a try. Here's a big piece of sausage. Let's see how it is. Wow, it's actually quite spicy. Nothing too powerful, but it's spicier than I expected it to be. Usually things in MREs and generally in commercial foodstuffs, even though they say they're spicy, aren't that spicy as not to murder anyone, but this is quite noticeable. Otherwise, the sausages on their own don't really taste like much. The whole ensemble kind of has the same uniform flavor. It's a smooth, mild tomato flavor. You can feel a few condiment mixes in there. Sorry, spice mixes, I should have said. But nothing I can really put my finger on. It certainly goes well with this lemon beverage they give you. I would say there's definitely some aroma of cumin I can pick up here. Pretty good. This is certainly a hearty main, I can tell you that. Quite filling too. The sausages, texture-wise, they're chewy enough, but not very. You can't pick up any sort of sensible skin on them, so don't worry about that. Definitely a very fulfilling main, though maybe it's on the heavier side, so I'm not sure how much this helps before going straight into battle. But it's certainly something that is really nourishing and, as I said, satisfying to eat. If you like spicy foods, you'll definitely like this one. Maybe not the spiciest thing in the world, but definitely out there. So with all of that being said and done, let's also check out these two dessert items that they give us. First of all, osmotic cranberries. Only contains cranberries, sugar, and sunflower seed oil. Come loosely packed in this bag, and here's how they look. Basically what you'd expect. Let's see how they are. I never tried these out. I hear these get a lot of hate. Let's see if it's any of it is warranted. So they are quite sour, sweet because they're sweetened a bit. Sweet, then it turns to like a nice acidic sour, not very chewy, kind of mushy in there, because some of the sugar has actually replaced. I don't know the term for this phenomenon in English, but essentially some of the sugar has replaced the fibrous structure, has weaved its way into the actual material of the cranberry and replaced it, forming sort of a crystalline grid in there, and it makes them much more like jelly-like in a sense. Also does a really good job at preserving them. This is likely intentional. This can keep for a really long time, even though they are fruits. And they have no other kind of chemical preservative or anything. That all the ingredients are listed here. It's just sugar, sunflower, and sunflower seed oil, and the cranberry. So the sugar here is doing all of the job of preserving these. They really are not bad at all. I don't know why these get so much hate. Let's also see this nut raisin mix with pan-coated chocolate discs. Doesn't sound bad at all. Haven't seen this one before at all. Even the packaging is a bit unusual. Right, Ternotch is on the side here, so you actually have to hold it at 90 degrees to the to the actual writing on the pack. As usual, there's an oxygen absorber in here, and it's essentially just a trail mix. Cashews, peanuts, what are those? Walnuts, raisins. Nothing to complain about. This should be a really good source of fiber, oils, and vitamin D. Let's see if we find some of those pan-coated chocolate discs they're talking about. I see something colored in there, and yeah, would you look at that? They're essentially like M&Ms in a sense. That's how they look. Let me try one on its own. Yep, these things are essentially like chocolate M&Ms or Smarties or whatever you wanna call them. Kind of a weird thing to add into a trail mix if you ask me, but that's how it goes. Americans tend to add sugar into everything, so... So this has been menu 20, Italian sausage with peppers and onions in marinara sauce. I would definitely say that this was a enjoyable menu. It's got a lot of nice snacks on the side, plus a solid main course. There's no way you can go wrong. I feel like this is one of the menus that really puts into perspective how well the US MRE does menu variety. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I have been Military Ration Enthusiast. Thank you very much for watching. See ya!